Many poor African-American boys like Mike Tyson dream of playing a sport that will take their family out of poverty for good.
They used to call him Dirty Mike, because his clothes was bummy and stuff like this.
I knew Mike ever since he was a little kid. Right? He used to rob, steal, and fly pigeons.
Mike was a trifling kid, you know what I'm saying? Like most kids from the ghetto.
It's kind of crazy. Mike Tyson makes it, and America loves him. But if he's not able to knock people out, then how do we as Americans look at him or any other young poor kid still stuck in poverty?
8-second knockout, the first round. 8-second knockout. 8-second knockout.
Greatness 5 examines Tyson before the fame.
Fear is your friend, and nature gave us fear in order for us to survive.
I always thought I was some tough guy. I thought I was never tough. I think I was a big wimp. But I just had guys to back me up and they gave me courage. But being a boxer was the last thing on my mind.
Our story begins in Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York, a residential neighborhood in eastern Brooklyn. It was a predominantly Jewish area until the 1950s, when many African Americans who lived in neighboring Bed-Stuy moved to Brownsville. In 1965, future Senator and sociologist Patrick Moynihan wrote a report about black poverty, warning America that poverty was creating two Americas. At the time, the single mother rate for Brownsville was 45%. Twice the national rate. In 1966, exactly 1 year after the Moynihan report, Michael Gerard Tyson was born to Lorna Mae Tyson, who was abandoned by her then husband Jimmy Kirkpatrick, leaving Lorna raising 3 kids in Brownsville, which was slowly becoming one of the most crime-filled areas in the United States of America.
You can't love the man without understanding the child that lives inside the man. So when Tyson imploded years later, we all judged him, but shamefully, we did nothing to help him as a child or any child that went through what he went through in Brownsville.
In life, everyone experiences a calm before the storm. In young Mike Tyson's case, he experienced dysfunction before the storm.
I knew Mike ever since he was a little kid. Right? He used to rob, steal, and fly pigeons.
Flying pigeons all the time, kept trouble, Mike was a trifling kid, you know what I'm saying? Like most kids from the ghetto,
They used to call him Dirty Mike, because his clothes was bummy and stuff like this. His mom's on welfare, they didn't have much, so this is the way he was. You got to realize there's a lot of abandoned buildings here, so this is what you played in. That was your playground, abandoned buildings and little dirt lots and stuff, so you was always dirty. Nobody has any money. Somebody might say they hungry or something like that, so you go out, go up on the shopping area, you might see somebody cash a check or snatch the pocketbook.
Your mother, and what was your relationship like with her?
She was loving, but she was kind of aggressive. Wasn't afraid to really beat you, hit you with anything, pretty much. Drank heavily. Had a lot of boyfriends and stuff. Sometimes a boyfriend would come over, they would be drunk. I would cut their pockets and rob their money. Because we never had anything. We never had money. We never had food.
How often were you hungry?
A lot. But You know, sometimes you get hungry, your mind, you forget you're hungry and you go to sleep sometimes, you know. Sometimes people say, sometimes you can't sleep because you're so hungry. I think that was a lie. When you're tired, you sleep. Don't care how hungry you are. That's why we run the streets all day.
Tyson's behavior caught up with him. He ended up spending time at the notorious Spofford Youth Facility in the Bronx, New York. But a major miracle took place in Tyson's life while at Spofford. One day at Spofford, Tyson heard a loud roar. At first he thought it was a riot, but when he looked beyond the mob, it was an unannounced visit to Spofford by the one and only Muhammad Ali. The adulation and excitement that Ali created went instantly to Tyson's soul. He wanted it. He wanted to box. Through a series of chance meetings, Mike Tyson was placed under the tutelage of legendary trainer Cus D'Amato. Years earlier, there was a book and movie titled A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. Well, Cus D'Amato flipped it and turned Tyson's story into A Cyclone Grows in Brooklyn.
That out was Mike Tyson. Oh, no!
He's punching holes in the wall. I'm like to myself, oh no. This guy's getting ready to fight my guy, my little guy. And he's punching holes in the wall before he goes out to fight.
Tyson came out of the depths of hell. Came in wearing those black shorts and those black boots, just looking like he don't give a and then took over the world.
This ain't no lie. When Mike Tyson fought, you better go sit your ass down or you gonna miss the fight.
And now Michael Gerard Tyson had gone from the poorest of the poor to perhaps the most famous person on earth. People loved Iron Mike, but heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is filmmaker Reggie Bullock. You're watching the Greatness 5 channel. Short films that make you feel history in minutes through education, compassion, and entertainment. Please subscribe, share, and comment now.
By 1986, Brownsville had created one of the most recognizable faces in the world, and yet crime and poverty continued to rise.
So let's put this in perspective. Here's a chubby kid who was bullied and loved pigeons. And within 5 years, he's being embraced by the wealthiest people in America. And at the same time, being embraced by a new genre of music called hip-hop.
Every time we have somebody, like we had Tyson. Tyson was a perfect outer-city hero because he represented us because he was always on the edge. They always wanted to make him a different type of person, and he would never be that. He would always be on the edge. And they hated that. And I felt like they punished him because he never legitimized himself. He hung in clubs. He was the only person I know that had millions that hung around with rappers. The only black person I know that made it to that millionaire status and that treated rappers with some kind of dignity.
Within a short period of time, Mike Tyson lost his mother, Cus D'Amato, and his sister. Tyson trained less and went down a road of dysfunction. The loss of his title, going to prison, bankruptcy, and a horrific divorce sent the king spiraling to a place that only a child of Brownsville would remotely understand. America's fascination with Mike Tyson may never die because he represents memories, good or bad, that are stuck in people's minds forever. In 2009, the producers of the movie The Hangover contacted Tyson, which placed Tyson back in the public eye as a human being and not the monster the media had portrayed him to be. Within 10 years, Tyson developed a stage play which showed his humor, flaws, and humanity. It was followed up with a very successful podcast. And believe it or not, Tyson at 50 years of age entered the ring one more time. Miraculously, the poor kid from Brownsville turned his life around for a second time, making Tyson's story the feel-good story for the century. Except, what about Brownsville? Tyson will always remember 2009 as a year of redemption. But for the people of Brownsville, 2009 will be remembered as a year when the murder rate went through the roof. Schools continued to fall apart, and the children of Brownsville were left waiting for opportunities that don't exist.
Because we are forced to live in the poorest sections of the city, we attend inferior schools. We have inferior teachers, and we get an inferior education.
You can't go to school no more, you can't get an education, you go to crime. You hang around some guys that you figure may protect you, stop guys from bothering you, but they teach you crime. They teach you why the other guys don't bother them and why they're tough.
Make certain that by the time our people do graduate, we won't be equipped or qualified for anything but the dirtiest, heaviest, poorest paying jobs that no one else wants.
I have a dream today.
That dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare.
Everyone knows about his dream, but very few know about his nightmare. King's Nightmare, now playing on the Greatness 5 channel.
This was my apartment right here. You know, there were guys over here that had pigeons. They had Danny had pigeons over here, Chucky. All these guys had pigeons on this side too. I had horrible pigeons. They couldn't fly much, but they were beautiful. And they were just show birds. And I was really insecure about letting some quality pigeons out because I didn't know about training them. I just wanted to possess them. You know, but in order to possess them, you have to let them go. You can't imprison them. You have to have the freedom. They have to be on their will to come with you. And that's where you get the gratitude to believe that they're here because they love me. I never went to school because I got bullied all the time. That's why I got involved with pigeons, because I was skipping school to avoid the bullies. My life sucked as a kid. I was just bullied all. I hate my childhood life. But I'm proud that I'm from here. I'm proud. Yeah, I'm proud.